Hello, 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 and welcome to the right hand. I am Greg Copeland. Uh, we are Reuben Allen. We are small firm law firm consultants. We help small minority and women-led law firms build thriving and sustainable practices. Today, what we're going to do is and as you know, we talk a lot about topics that may come up three, four, or five times in a row in the previous weeks with clients of ours. And so today, what we're going to do is just dive into one of the biggest, career transitions, for attorneys, and this is going from and it's an exciting transition at that. It's going from a solo practice to building and leading a team. And now, you know, a lot of attorneys may start out alone, handling everything from client intake to trial prep, even marketing, IT, it's and that's good as you're building your business because you need to do everything. You need to figure out how every aspect of your business works. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And while that's great for a little while and it's great for, that you have control of everything, it's just not sustainable for growth. And at some point, you'll need to bring in help. And whether that's an assistant, a paralegal, associate, even some may bring in another partner, just depending. At some point, to grow, you're gonna need help to function properly as an attorney in your law firm. But the challenge is that being a great lawyer doesn't automatically make you a great leader. In fact, skills that make you a strong litigator or negotiator, um, those don't necessarily translate into building, managing a team, especially a high performing team. So, what we're going to do today, we're going to break it down a little bit, talk about that and kind of see if we can give you some hints, point you in the right direction from going from a solo attorney to leading a team. And forgive me, I'm going to take a drink of water, getting over cold. Sorry. All righty. There we go. Sorry about that. So, how do you shift your mindset from a solo operator to um, a law firm leader? How do you hire the right people and retain the right people? And how do you create systems of operation that you'll need in place to scale effectively? So, anytime you're thinking about growing your firm, these are some of the challenges. If you're thinking about growing it, or if you're currently struggling with that transition, here we go. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. This is what we're here for. You know, the most important part of this transition, it is often overlooked. It's the mind shift set. It's you're shifting your way of thought. I always tell people, and maybe for a lot of you out there, it wasn't the same, that when I went from undergrad to law school, they basically ripped out my entire way of thinking, especially when it came to writing or analyzation. They ripped it all up, threw it out the window, put new information in there, and I basically had to reset. And that's how it felt for me. And that's kind of what it is about going from a solo attorney to leading um, teams. Think about your daily routine when you're a solo attorney. Your success is tied to how much you can personally accomplish. It's all tied to you. But when you have a team, now success isn't about just you. It's about how well you and the others around you um, are able to do great work. And this means shifting, kind of from I'm doing it all myself, the lone wolf, to a leader. And instead of micromanaging, self-micromanaging every case detail. You'll need to focus on delegation, operational systems, leadership, and that's a little difficult because as attorneys, we are trained, told to be perfectionists. A lot of us have problems letting go of control, and that's just our personality and kind of what took us into the legal field and to begin with. Some of those traits. So we have to kind of, again, like legal writing for me, break it down, tear it apart, legal analysis, tear it apart, put some new information in there, plant new seeds, kind of grow that new tree. Um, you know, I've worked with attorneys who've had practices for maybe, you know, 5, 10 years, just solo on their own. And then when they finally hire an associate, you know, they struggle to let go of the casework. They would come behind the associates and redo documents, rewriting letters, demand letters, basically doing the work that they were paying that associate to do in the first place, you know. You know, but usually, and that happens, and it'll happen for a while. But at some point, that turning point comes, and you have to realize that if you keep doing the work all yourself, all you're doing is just paying for extra people to do work that you're going to do anyway. That's not true help. And your business would never grow. It will never scale if you don't learn to trust your team to step up. So, you know, the first lesson in leadership is to let go of that mindset that you have to do everything on your own. You know, you can start small, delegate small tasks that don't require your particular expertise. You know, delegate the smaller ones, build that trust, let them deliver, and then you can slowly give them more and more responsibility as that trust builds. And what it just do is it helps you free up time for your high level strategy, your more high level uh, tasks, and helps you with business growth as well. Um, Once you're able to kind of reframe that mindset, now you have to hire the right people. And this is crucial, because bad hire can drain your energy, can drain your time. It will even hurt your firm's reputation. Recently, just went through this with one of my clients. Hired an attorney who on the outside presented well, seemed well, all of that, but when it came down to it, uh, when the work needed to be done, that person probably had some other issues going on and was not qualified. Basically, they overrepresented their talent uh, to do things, and so quickly, uh, my client had to reverse course, and thankfully, it was solved very quickly, pretty quickly. But it could be a disaster for those who, you know, are just solo attorneys who are trying to ramp up. It could be a big setback. And what you want to do is when making your first hires, start with the support staff. Because if you're overwhelmed, the first thing you should do, get an assistant, or a paralegal. Don't get another attorney. Um, a lot of solos make the mistake of bringing in another lawyer and bring them in too soon. And then what happens is, when they need someone to handle intake, you know, the document prep, simple administrative tasks that the attorney was trying to get out of in the first place, that person's not doing that. And so you kind of want to start small, get those administrative tasks off your hands first, free up, you know, high level legal strategy and time for you. Um, what you want to do is hire, I guess, for lack of a better word, hire for attitude, train for skill. You can teach someone um, your process, but you can't teach like the work ethic, reliability, or client first mindset. You want to look for people who fit your firm's cultures and values, and that's why I'm always big on setting out when you first start your firm, your business. write down what your culture is, write down what your values of your firm are, what your mission statement is of your firm. And then when you're interviewing, find people in those interviews who are a fit for those culture, mission, values of your firm. And you also want to set clear expectations to in any interview and to any new hire. Um, a lot of small firm owners, they struggle with employees because they don't define what success looks like in that firm. Um, every role should have clear metrics, KPIs, whether it's cases handled, response time to clients, you know, efficiency in legal research. Every everything should have that metric, so they know what does it look like when I'm doing my job correctly. What does it look like when I'm not doing my job correctly? And it lays out clear expectations, and when you're doing that, and once you have that right team in place, you know it's all about retention. This is the legal industry. This is one of the highest burnout industries that we have out here. And if your team members are underworked or they feel overworked, I'm sorry, or and undervalued, they'll eventually leave. Um, someone said to me a long time ago, people don't quit jobs, people quit people, right? And so you have to just make sure you put in place successful retention strategies. Um, you know, one of my clients who runs a planning firm swears by a simple strategy of weekly check-ins. Every Friday, she sits down with her team, not to talk about cases, not to talk about updates, but to ask, how do they feel? How do they feel about the job? How's their workload? Do you need support? Do you want to take on more work? Do you think you have too much work? Just kind of make an effort to see where their mind is in a work environment situation. So, your employees are your greatest asset. Invest in them. You invest correctly in the right team members, and your firm's going to thrive. And also, beyond just people, the systems, the operations, the systems for growth. If you want to scale your firm, you need systems, because without them, growth is just going to bring chaos. You're going to grow. No one's going to know what they need to do, what process procedures they need to follow, what any timelines are, where anything is. Um, technology. I'm big on that. Invest in technology. Case management software. Don't rely on paper files. We're moving past that. The cloud is a real thing. There's a lot of platforms, case management systems out there. Clio, MyCase, Practice Panther. All of these can help you automate workflow, track your deadlines, improve efficiency, set calendar reminders, keep you on track, keep your team members on track, where someone can come in, if they're familiar with one of these platforms, go in, look, and be up to speed in no time. Instead of you having to sit down and take the time to show them a system that may be antiquated. Getting financial management in order. Don't wait until tax season to figure out your numbers. Use accounting software. One very popular one is QuickBooks. There are others out there for smaller attorneys and firms who are growing that you can use. Hire a legal accountant to track revenue, expenses, your profitability. Get someone who knows about numbers, and it doesn't have to be a full-time person. It can be a consultant or a part-time bookkeeper who can help you keep you on track and just maintain everything, so you're not worrying about the numbers as much, and you can worry about practicing. And then client communication, very important. Set up client communication rules, feedback rules, where clients can give feedback A lot of these case management systems come with client portals, so you can have communication back and forth with clients, so they feel like they're connected with you. Consistent client communication, it prevents complaints, bad reviews. Create automated emails, update your clients regularly. Um, I always suggest just kind of regular updates to case, even if something isn't happening and something's not going to happen for another 2 or 3 months. Just a reminder, hey, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. A well-run law firm isn't just about the legal work. It's about having structure to support the long-term success. So, these are the things, transitioning from a solo practice to running a team, the 3 big shifts: changing your mindset, hiring and investing in the right people, implementing systems and processes. If you're feeling overwhelmed by this transition, don't worry, you're not alone. It's hard for everyone. But every great firm started with just one attorney, maybe 2, and making the decisions. And so, and then they decided to scale, and they made the right decisions when scaling. And so it takes one step at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to put together a free resource kit. It's basically a law firm growth blueprint, and this will outline the steps to building a strong team and managing a firm like yours. Make sure you manage that firm like a business, and you can download it. And what we'll do is we'll put it in the link. We'll put it on we'll have on our website as well, for some resources. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor, subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, share with a fellow attorney who might need it. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Greg Copeland. Thank you for listening in on the right hand. Hey, good luck growing that law firm. If you need us, that's what we're here for. See you later.